Risk management. Risk management is the process of managing or minimizing risk to ensure a safe workplace. What the WHS law states. The PCBU is to do what is reasonable and practicable to protect the health and safety in the workplace. The workers must not cause harm to themselves and others. Every business has inherent risk, which would be associated with the type of business, the equipment, machinery, chemicals and work activity that is done in the business. Risk assessment. Workplaces need to assess the level and severity of risk and implement safety processes to reduce the risk and prevent injury to workers. One of the ways is by identifying hazards and minimizing the risk. There is a distinct difference between a hazard and a risk. A hazard has the potential to harm the health or safety of a person, or to cause damage to property. Risk is the chance of the injury or damage happening, and how severe the injury or damage might be. For example, water left on the floor is a hazard, with the risk being that a slip and fall is likely to occur and could result in breaking a bone and/or soft tissue injury. Beside the inherent risk, environmental risk may be created by the workers and processes, which need to be addressed too. There are 4 steps involved in managing workplace health and safety risks according to a Safe Work Australia fact sheet. It begins with hazard and risk assessments, followed by implementing and reviewing control measures. Hazard reporting. It is important to encourage the workers to identify and report hazards. This helps to reduce and avoid workplace incidents and accidents. While the best way to control a risk is to eliminate the hazard altogether, this may not always be reasonably practicable. In which case risks should be minimized as much as possible using the following steps. Step 1. Identify hazards, identify what could cause harm. Step 2. Assess risks, understand what harm could be caused, the likelihood and how serious it could be, and whether any existing control measures are effective. Step 3. Control risks, implement the most effective control measures that are reasonably practicable in the circumstances using the hierarchy of controls as described in the slides. Step 4. Review control measures, to ensure they are working effectively. The hierarchy of controls. When managing hazards, it is important to use the hierarchy of controls to remove or minimize the risk. The following steps need to be followed, and a combination of controls should be used, whenever a single control measure is not sufficient. The steps are as follows. Level 1. Eliminate the hazard altogether. For example, get rid of the dangerous machine. Level 2. Substitute the hazard with a safer alternative. For example, replace the machine with a safer version. Isolate the hazard. For example, keep the machine in a closed room and operate it remotely. Use engineering controls to reduce the risk. For example, attach a guard to the machine to protect users. Level 3. Use administrative controls. For example, train workers how to use the machine safely. Use PPE. For example, wear gloves and safety eyewear when using the machine. Codes of practice. The Safe Work Australia's How to Manage Work Health and Safety Risks Model Code of Practice states that workplace health and safety (WHS) regulations require duty holders to work through the hierarchy of controls when managing risks. The hierarchy of controls ranks risk control measures from the highest level of protection and reliability to the lowest level of protection and reliability. Eliminating the hazard that is creating the risk is the most effective, followed by substituting the hazard with something safer, isolating the hazard from people, or reducing risk using engineering controls. Personal protective equipment (PPE) and administrative actions sit as the last line of defense, and should only be used after all other control measures have been assessed, or a supplementary control measure. Safe Work Australia states that the controls in Level 3 should only be used as a last resort, as an interim measure, and as a backup for higher control measures. WHS regulations require that PPE must be a suitable size and fit and cater for the nature of work and associated hazards. Once appropriate controls have been identified, senior management and any workers who will be affected by the changes should be consulted and their input sought. This will minimize oversight, increase support and adoption of the changes, and may also lead to increased staff satisfaction. For more information on the hierarchy of controls and managing workplace health and safety risks, read the Safe Work Australia Codes of Practice and Safety at the Workplace fact sheets. Prevent workplace accidents. Maintain a safe system of work and a safe work environment through regular safety inspections. Thank you for listening. We are here to help you. Contact us at info@focale.com. Visit us at www.focale.com.